All right.
Reports of Ubisoft's had quite the troubled year. Their stock recently plummeted after reports of three canceled unannounced titles alongside Skull and Bones getting delayed for a sixth time, on top of the fact that certain games just didn't meet sales expectations. That brings the total number of
Yeah.
canceled games in the last 6 months to frickin' 7. And that's on top of the numerous
Oh.
projects that are in development hell, namely Skull and Bones, which
Uh.
has been a decade-long nightmare. This article
Right.
is 2 years old as
Uh.
of the publishing of this video, so this
What?
8-year nightmare is now turned into 10. You've got other games like Prince of Persia, which look pretty
Yeah.
rough, at least
Prince of Persia, like that's kind of old, and I've never really. I don't know. It's an RPG game, but I don't know. I didn't really feel it like appealing.
last time we saw it. We don't know what's going on in terms of its development schedule. It keeps getting delayed. Recently, pre-orders got canceled across the board, which is pretty ominous.
Wait, what? Says the game currently does not have a release date. Also, pre-order have been canceled and refunded where applicable. No. Oh my God, pre-order cancellation. Oh my God, pre-orders may reopen since a new release date for the game has been. Oh my. Oh my God, what? What is what is going? How do you cancel a pre-order? And then you say, "Oh, we may reopen it in the future, because we have a new release date." I'm like, "Bro, this is such bad coordination. This is worse than World of Warcraft, bro. You cancel you cancel, and then you're like, "Hey, everybody who has been refunded, guess what? We have a new release date. Do you want to pre-order again?" Oh my, this is so bad, bro.
And then you've got Beyond Good and Evil 2, which is still in early development despite
Okay, what is this? Wait. What?
Good and Evil 2.
Okay, first of all, what is this? Beyond a good. Oh my God, what is that? Yo, guys, I'm sorry to say this, but the problem with Ubisoft, there's two problems. All right, I'll be honest with you. First of all, the games that they are constructing, except maybe from Assassin's Creed, which is I think the only game that I played from Ubisoft so far. I mean, they don't have any like worldwide, like game that they need to make a game like, like an MMORPG or something like Valheim. Their RPG game like Assassin's Creed is good, but it's just redundant. Assassin's Creed, like my little brother, he played almost every Assassin's Creed, and I refuse to play any of them except one, with which I think is Valhalla. I believe I played, and I was already bored. I was already bored after like 15 minutes of gameplay, and the reason I say I was bored, it's because it's redundant. There's nothing new. There's nothing new. There's nothing unique. The thing about Ubisoft is that they're just reconstructing the wheel. They are just reconstructing the wheel instead of coming with something innovative, and that depends. And these games depends on the decision making from whoever's at the top of the ladder. It comes from the decision makers. So it's, you know what I mean? So the thing about Ubisoft, I'll be honest with you, man, I don't play any other games. Oh yeah, I did play Ghost Recon back in, I think it was like 10 years ago. I played Ghost Recon, and that game was very addicting. But what happened is that I don't know how they did the codings and programming, but a lot of people were hacking that game. And what happened is that everybody was hacking the game to the point where it was unplayable. You know what I'm saying? So I stopped playing Ghost Recon. Now they made a new version, and I think they even canceled that game. They kind of closed down that game because there was too many hackers. So yeah, they made another Ghost Recon. I'm not playing it. But you see, the thing about Ubisoft, they make too many mistakes. They don't prevent. I don't know how they prevent it, but they don't. There's no prevention, or I don't know. But the thing is, they make mistakes. They cancel it. They re. They. I don't know, bro. It's like a big spaghetti roller coaster in Ubisoft, and that's the reason why I think they're not succeeding in anything. If they could do something like Valheim, or even like, I don't know, like an open world, maybe like, something like Guild Wars 2, maybe, I don't know, or World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy 14. Like, they don't even have MMOs. They don't even have MMOs. Like, like they do have strategy game, But against the strategy game Anno, what is it like? There's a new strategy game they did, and I wanted to buy it, but then they removed it from Steam. They removed it from Steam because they had like I think they had marketing issue with Steam and something like that. A lot of people were disappointed. So when people wanted to buy the game on Steam, and people were like, "Where's the game?" Oh, you have to buy it on their website, and then if you buy it on Ubisoft website, you need to do some sort of application that takes forever. You have like 500 security questions just to play the game. So a lot of people were like disappointed. Like you're trying to promote a game that is impossible to play, and then you're complaining, why is it that people are not playing our game? So go figure, and then you make these games like this that nobody cares. Like, what is this? This is Donkey Kong. What is the Donkey Kong mixed with Transformers? What is this? Like, what innovation is there in this game? Like, seriously, bro.
2, which is still in early development despite having broken Duke Nukem Forever's record for longest game in development. So
Whoop.
clearly that game's not coming out anytime soon. That's
No.
on top of the toxic
Ubisoft boss still doesn't get why his company is so toxic. Oh my god. Like, guys, just like Blizzard Activision, and I've been saying this, guys, I've been working in many different companies for 30 years, okay? Listen to me carefully. The way the environment in a company always 150% always depends on the leadership at the top of the ladder. Let me say that again for those who maybe didn't hear it carefully. Any business, it doesn't have to be a video game. Any business, the environment in the company will only depend on one factor. It will depend on who's coordinating, or who's the leader. Who's the leader at the top who's coordinating everything? It's not the executive. It's not the vice president. It's not the technical department. It's not the customer service department. The environment in general will be a reflection of how they are treated in the company, depending on how the leader or the CEO, whoever's in charge, the big chief, it depends how he treats his employees. So if he treats his employee properly, his employees will treat his, like the, I don't know, if if the CEO treats the vice president properly, the vice president will treat, the people under him properly. Are you guys feeling my drift? And then it's so on. It's like a branch. It all start at the root. You guys know. You guys heard what they say about like bad apples. Like, if you want to stop bad apples, from if you want a tree, like an apple tree, to stop having bad apples, do you cut the branches, or do you fix the issues at the root? Are you guys feeling my drift? Are you understand what I'm saying? The problem is never the branches. You can cut as many branches as you want. The problem is, how is the leadership at the top? Who is leading the company? How do you treat your vice president? Because if you treat your vice president properly, and if you make sure that your vice president is happy, now I say vice president, but it could be an executive, it could be whatever name you want to give it to, but whoever is under the CEO, if these people are well treated, they are going to treat others under them in a very positive way, and the entire environment will be a positive atmosphere as well. So everything depends on the roots, and the root is the CEO. So for him to say, I don't get why the company is so toxic, well, how do you treat your company? How do you treat the people under you? This question shouldn't exist. This question shouldn't exist if he's a good person. If he treats his people properly, this shouldn't exist. You know why? Let's say, I'll give you an example. If I was, I don't know, the leader or the CEO of a video game company, the first thing I would do is I would sit down with my vice president and whoever's working under me. I would ask him, how are you doing today? And he's gonna be like, I'm fine. Okay. Are you sure? Is there anything that you don't like about this company? Is whether it's the money, whether it's the environment, whether it's the hours of work, whether it's the vacation. Do you have enough vacation? Is there something you don't like about my company? I need to know right now because I want to make sure you're happy. Because if you're happy, you will reflect that happiness in my company, and it is crucial for me to know if you are happy or not happy. And then the vice president will look at me and say, well, I wish I had an extra week of vacation because I have many kids and they want to go different places. Okay, how many weeks of vacation do you want? Well, I don't want to abuse, but you already give me 6 weeks, so I don't want to ask for 8 weeks. Okay, I'm giving you 8 weeks. There you go. It's like, wait, what? Are you gonna be like, wait, are you sure you don't have to? Well, no, I want to because I want you to be happy because I know that if you're happy for these 8 weeks, if you're happy with your kids, I know you're gonna be productive for my company, and my company will be more productive for everybody else around. But the only way for my company to work, I need to make sure that you, as my vice president, as my right hand, all right, I want to make sure that you are happy. So my question is this: is there anything else I can do to make you happy? Well, no, actually, that's all I needed. Those maybe, I don't know, if you want to reconsider my salary. I think that my salary is pretty good right now. But I mean, if you're making millions and I'm making only like 75,000, I don't know. I was wondering maybe we could reconsider. Okay. So, okay, how much millions are we did we do last quota? Well, last we made I don't know, 300 million. Okay. Here's $1 million bonus just because I like you. Just because I like you, here's $1 million bonus in your pocket. Now you're gonna say, "Are you serious, bro? You're gonna get yo, bro? We made $300 million. He's my vice president. He's the one in charge of my entire company because of his productivity. I am making 300 million. So why am I complaining about giving him a $1 million bonus? Hello, are you guys feeling my drift? Now you're gonna say, isn't that too much, bro? Yo, bro, do you want your company to strive? Or do you want to have a toxic environment where everybody is fed up at the company? Everybody's like pointing fingers. Everybody's like angry at everybody. You know what happened when a company doesn't work properly? When everybody hates everybody in the company. I used to work in that type of company, by the way, where people were shouting. People were shouting at each other. People were had animosity against each other. I work in a company where my supervisor was screaming all the time, where my manager was always like, she had anxiety. She had like anxiety attacks. She was telling everybody how she hated her life. I was working in a company like that. Do you know what happens when you do that? Everybody, it's like spreading a virus, and then the company becomes toxic, right? Because you start spreading a virus. Do you know how fast a virus is being spread? This is what it is. But where do you think that started? Where do you think the virus started? It started at the person there who had issue with her kid. Okay, my manager, she had issue with her family. Okay, so the question is, what is the CEO supposed to do about that? Okay, first of all, my manager was working under an executive. Now the question is not what the CEO did, but what did the executive do to make sure that my manager was psychologically stable at work? What did they do? Nothing. They didn't do nothing. Now you're gonna say, why? Okay, here comes my next question. Do they have a system, or do they have some sort of way to take care of the executive? Do they have any I don't know, weekly coaching, a system that allows them to make sure that our managers are properly psychologically okay at work? Like, do they have any coaching? Do they do that? Now, if the answer is no, then you have to ask yourself, how is it that you don't have any weekly coaching with your own people who works under you if you deem that you care about them? The answer comes with the next question. Did the CEO even implemented a system that involves having a weekly coaching with the managers? So now you see, so there's always like a if and if and if, but where does everything start? Where does everything start? It starts at the top. Who is in charge? The CEO. So if the CEO doesn't implement a system where they tell the executive to make a weekly coaching with our managers that may not be psychologically stable at work, who do you blame at the end? Are you guys feeling my drift? So for him to say that, oh, why is this company so toxic? You should look yourself in the mirror first of all. The answer is right in front of you in the mirror. Just look at yourself in the mirror. If, because you see, like, guys, I've been working in this two different company, high salary. One of my company, very positive. It was a very complicated job. I was making around $30 an hour. I was one of the top 10 employees, and I've been working there for 3 years. The reason I've been working there for 3 years, and usually I don't work that long, to be honest with you. The reason I was working there for 3 years is not because of the pay, but because of how we were treated by the employer. Our employer, who's the big boss, all right, I'm not gonna say who, he cared about his employees. Like, when I say he cared, he really, like, he even came to my company. He even came to our company. Okay, wait. Before I even say that, one time I had a group meetings with one of our directors. All right, because we have supervisors, we have managers, and we have directors. So one of our director had a meeting, right, a big meeting, and he was talking about our big boss, how nice he was, how much he cares about us. And one time I asked a question in the meeting. I was like, did the big boss ever came to our company? Because, I mean, I understand that you're saying that he cares about us, but when's the last time he ever came? Because I've been here for 3 years and I've never seen him. Did he ever came to our company? And the director stares at me and is like, you know what? That's a good question. How about I put this on hold? I put your question on hold and I come back at you in our next meeting. And the reason he said that is because he doesn't even know himself. And it was kind of like borderline embarrassing question, but I didn't mean to embarrass him because I really wanted to know, when is the last time? Did he came last 4 years? I've been here for 3 years. Did he came to our company last 4 years? Last 5 years? I just want to know. I didn't mean to say like, oh, like he said he cares about us, but he never came. I didn't mean it in that way. But that question was, yeah, he was staring at me. The director of my company was staring at me. He was like, man, you shouldn't have not asked me that question. But at the same time, he was curious himself. So what he did, okay, hear me out, guys. You know what happened? Like, I think it was like 3 days, 2 days or 3 days later. I was working at my desk, right? I was minding my own business with a client on the telephone, right? Because I was working customer service, technical department, customer service. I was almost like an assistant, like an assistant supervisor. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is that guess who shows up? There's a bunch of people that walks up the alley, like where I work. Like we're like a big company, right? And there's like a bunch of people who's following one guy. That one guy is asking for direction, like blah 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 blah. I mean, I'm just working, I mind my own business. The guy, then he's asking. Then I see my director beside him, and he's talking to my director. And he's like blah 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 blah. And the director point his finger at me. I'm like, what? What did I do? Yo, who? When? Where? Are you the FBI? You gonna arrest me? What? Yo, bro, I did my quota. I did all the sales you asked me to. I sold a lot of stuff. No, what's wrong? Then the guy in the business suit comes at me with a big smile. I'm like, oh shit, what did I do? He comes at me. He extend his hand at me, like, he want to shake my hand. I'm like all baffled. I'm like, oh, who are you? I'm like shaking his hand. I'm looking at you. Like I have a client on the phone. I'm like, sir, ma'am, I have to put you on hold for a few seconds. I have an issue, a technical issue here. Put on mute. Then I look at the big guy looking at me, in his business suit. Like, he has like perfect white teeth. Like his haircut was like perfect. He smelled like, I don't know what he smelled, but he smelled good. And he's shaking in my hand. I'm like, excuse me, sir, who are you? And he's like, oh, I'm just your big boss. How are you doing? I'm like, I'm like, what? No, I was like, and you guys know what? This guy's a multi-billionaire. He's like the richest guy. He's one of the richest guy on earth. And he came to shake my goddamn hand. I was like, oh my god, are you? Whoa, I'm like, what the hell is going on, bro? And that director at the back, he's smiling at me. I'm like, oh, so I get it. Because I asked you last time, when's the last time he came to our company when a big boss, and then you called him. You called him to know when he came, and even he himself did not know. So what he did, he came to our company. He took the plane with all his family and friends. He came to our company to come and shake my hands because you want to make him right. Because I asked you the question, you want to make him right. Now you want to make me feel like what the I was like, oh my god, Hito! I was like, bro, did he shook my hand? Are you serious? That's like a multi-millionaire dude who shook my hand. I'm like that little guy who's like just doing his job, right? I was like, are you serious? And I was like, why is he doing that? Okay, anyway, the point is that my big boss is a nice guy. He has a lot. He's been doing a lot of charity. He's been helping a lot of people. He's not afraid. He was not afraid to come to our company because he owns many companies, right? It's not just us. He has like 5 companies or something like that. But he came to our company and he shook his hand to every single employees in the place. Everybody was like, even my supervisor, she was like, did he shook your hand? I'm like, yeah. And she was like, holy cow. I'm like, yeah, I know, right? I know, right? And all the managers, even the managers were like, did he shook your hand? I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't I didn't mean it. I didn't do anything. And the reason everybody was smiling is because, oh, that's because DJ asked the question in the meeting last time, and the director was baffled. He did not know the answer. He needed to ask our big boss himself. Did you ever came to our company? And he actually showed up. He actually showed up 2 days later and shook my hand. Oh my god! I thought he was the FBI. I thought he was CIA. I thought he's gonna arrest me for something. No, it's the big boss. And you shook my god. Anyway, I'm saying this, guys, because like I said, if you're a good CEO and if you care about your employees, there shouldn't be any toxic environment. But you see, that's the reason why my company strive. Our company was making a lot of money. We were a competitor to another bigger company. We were competitor to a bigger company in a certain, I'm not going to say what we were selling, but we're selling something that everybody needs, by the way. And we are a smaller competitor to the other business, the other competitor, right? But we were making more money than our competitor, and the only reason is because our company, we were very human. We were very human. How can I say, in the environment we had was not toxic, because every time something would happen, somebody would be there to help you. Just like in Guild Wars 2, when somebody needs help, there's always someone to help you. And that's the reason why the open world community in Guild Wars 2 is non-toxic. People are so nice. Are you feeling I think that's the reason why I love Guild Wars 2 as well, is because the people in there are so nice. And that starts also, with me and you. No, we need to treat people in a right way, and then other people is going to treat other people the right way. Do you understand my drift? So yeah, I just want to pitch that in.
Workplace rife with harassment, misconduct, abuse, and discrimination that executives and higher-ups have not properly addressed fully yet.
Well, the reason the executive don't address it properly is because they don't have a system. They don't have their boss, the CEO, hasn't implemented a system upon where we need to reach out, or we need to talk about. We need to find a way to fix these issues so that it doesn't it doesn't like spread out throughout the company. You need to start at the root. If there's no system, if the CEO doesn't implement a system, or if he doesn't think about that, then he is the one to blame. There should be a system that when there is harassment, when there are people are being treated in a certain way, what can we do about it? Can we talk to somebody? Hello?
And then on top of that, you've got plenty of articles just reporting delays, cancellations, and cost-cutting measures.
Well, that's called karma. That's called karma. Did you guys heard this analogy, this thing about you reap what you sow. So if you treat your company in a very bad way, if you don't treat your company or your employees properly, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think your employees are going to be productive? No. If they're not productive, what's going to happen? This is what happened. Cancellation. Why? Because people are not being productive. People are not being productive because they're not happy. People are not happy because you don't act like you don't care about them. And if you want to care about them, you need to address any type of issue where they don't feel okay. That's the way it is. I used to work in the same company where everybody was hating everybody. Oh my god. I'm not gonna name the company, but I was making like a lot of money. I think it was like $60,000 a year. That company, bro, even if you pay me $100,000 a year, I wouldn't work there. The work environment was so toxic. It is amazing. And the reason it was like that, it was because of the CEO, the person in charge. He was a douchebag. I only realized it like few weeks later after I start working there. I was wondering who's the big boss, and everybody said bad things about him. Everybody was saying that our big boss is a douchebag, like a total douchebag, like no shit. So I was like, okay, and because of that, many people inside the company were mistreated. They were not treated properly, and because of that, it was spreading like a virus, and everybody was being negative. And what do you think happened after that? People was leaving the company. People left the company, and people stopped being productive. There was fight everywhere I go. People were screaming at everybody. How do you work in that kind of environment, bro? How do you work in that? I don't know, man, but I would never work over there. Swear to God, like no, not even $1 million, because psychologically everybody was like super angry, and that is because of whoever is in charge. Are you guys feeling my drift? There, go.
Over the past year. Matters only got worse for Ubisoft when CEO Yves Guillemot addressed employees by putting the onus and the responsibility of the company's recent failures and the need for future success on employees who have been busting their asses under the misguided and piss-poor leadership of Yves Guillemot. But the way Yves Guillemot framed it was that employees need to do better. Here's exactly what he said: "Today more than ever, I need your full energy and commitment to ensure we get back on the path to success. I'm also asking that each of you be especially careful and strategic with your spending and initiatives to ensure we're being as efficient and lean as possible."
Yeah, no, well, yeah, that depends on how they are treated. So if you're treating your executive or your devs, if you're treating them badly, then obviously they will not be productive. And to my guess, if I have to guess, I think that he's been putting a lot of strain. He's been putting a lot of pressure, on the devs. Devs has been working like because I used to work for a video game company, and I almost worked for Ubisoft. By the way, I don't know if I told you guys that I applied for Ubisoft. That I received an email and I didn't get the job. Unfortunately, somebody else got the job. It was a music audio designer. All right. I didn't get the job, but it's okay because now that I know that the big boss is a douchebag, like no, I'm glad I didn't work for Ubisoft. But I know what it is to work in a video game company. It's because they have an ultimatum. They have ultimatum that you need to be productive until that date. That date, the game needs to come out. Because there are investors, there are like a lot of money into it, and people are waiting for the game. There is also other factors, of course. But I'm saying they're putting a lot of pressure. The CEO is putting a lot of pressure on the devs. Sometimes he or she is asking the impossible, and people are like burned out. If you work when you're burned out, you're gonna spread toxicity in the company. So that's the reason why I think Ubisoft is not working properly, is not being strategically efficient. Is you can blame all your employees, but you're the captain. You're the captain of the boat. If you don't know where you're sailing, it doesn't matter what the crew does for you. It doesn't matter if the crews are productive or non-productive. If the captain doesn't know where he or she is going, the boat will fail. The boat will sink, no matter what. No matter what, guys.
A rather hypocritical statement to make. The audacity for this man to say that employees need to give their full energy and commitment, which they have been doing, but towards projects that are not inspired, that are chasing trends, and whose management has been poorly executed, has pissed off employees, and they've taken to protest, especially after Guillemot wrote the...
Okay, I'm going to stop here. So you guys can read everything. I'm going to give you my final verdict. I played Ubisoft game, few of them, but I think the only game that I I think, oh my god, that the problem with Ubisoft, guys, is that there's no leading game. There is no. The Assassin's Creed is an RPG, but even that game, I'll be honest with you, man. I don't know. I'm like, every Assassin's Creed is the same thing with a different story. There's nothing innovative. Like, you see, I prefer playing Valheim. Valheim, at least you can build a house. It's very simplistic. You can build a house. You can build a kingdom if you want to. Like if they could do an MMO, maybe like an open world game, like World of Warcraft, or something even better than World of Warcraft, I think Ubisoft could potentially be back on track. But it shouldn't be like World of Warcraft. They should do their own MMORPG in their own way with something unique that differs them from other MMOs. Like, I don't want to see another Guild Wars 2. I don't want to see another World of Warcraft. Please, no. Please don't do that again. I don't want to see another Final Fantasy 14. And I don't want to see another ESO Elder Scroll Online. Are you guys feeling my drift? I want to see Ubisoft MMO, something that is unique that makes him want to play. But you see, that's the problem. To be able to come down with an idea that will be that will revolutionize, it depends on the CEO's leadership and creative. Like, does he have any creative idea? Because all they are doing right now is repetitive a trend. They're all following the same RPG trend with nothing unique about it. I don't even play their game. I sincerely don't care about any Ubisoft game, right? There's no name that comes to mind that makes me want to play the game. And that's the way it is. Assassin's Creed, I like this. I think I kind of liked it for maybe one game, but that's it. Then I'm like, the next game, the same thing. Next game, the same. It's redundant, bro. There's nothing unique about that. And that's why I don't. That's why I don't really care about Ubisoft, to be honest with you. But for him to say that, to put the blame on the devs, on the employees, this because of his lack of leadership, that's kind of poor. That's very poor. I'll be honest with you. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. And yeah, I hope that Ubisoft maybe can get back on track. But that will depend on the CEO, the leadership. It depends on the captain. If the captain knows where he is going on his boat, then everybody else will follow, and everybody else will get to destination. That's how I think. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you in my next video. Cheers.